Right, good morning. Sorry I'm a bit shaky, I've not got my gimbal with me. For those of you who saw the blog on yesterday, you'll notice I went to this location and it was a failure. You probably guessed it, me talking about moody clouds yesterday. It rained on me for about half an hour on the way back. It took me about 2 hours to walk back. It was a total failure. This morning I've risked it. I've come up here at 20 to 7 and I'm only going to be here for about 10 minutes just to let the sun rise. I've already been here for about 10 minutes already, and this is what the view is meant to look like. It's still a bit cloudy, but it has picked up some of that colour. The van's only parked up there, so I've got my getaway vehicle ready. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not really allowed to drive up here unless you have booked accommodation. There's a big fine apparently. But when I was walking back yesterday, I must have gone past about 4 or 5 camper vans just pulled up, so I thought it can't be, touch wood, it can't be that difficult to come up here without being caught. So especially in the early hours, you're only allowed to drive up here anyway outside the hours of 9 AM to 5 PM when all the roads are shut. So I've got to be off in a bit. What I've been doing is I've only got the 16 to 35mm lens with me. Ideally I probably want to go a bit more telephoto on this in an ideal world, but I've not got the bigger camera with me, so I'm going to be cropping this quite a bit. But basically, like I was saying yesterday, the shot, I'm using this leading, not really leading line, but this kind of snaky bit of interest with this road, and then this valley which looks quite nice, mainly this kind of curve here with the kind of peaks roughly in the middle or slightly off to one side. I've not got any filters with me either. I brought them, but I forgot to bring the holder, so I'm doing HDRs. I think, to be honest, HDRs are going to work better because it's a damp, wet morning and the ground is looking very unsaturated and very bleak, so anything to add a bit of vibrancy to it's going to work. But yeah, cool place. So this is Alpe Di Suisi, I think it's pronounced, or Suisse. I'll write it up, but like literally it's the same place as yesterday evening. I stayed in the van a bit down the road, so yeah, cool place. I'll get these shots. Like I say, simple shots really. I've got no filters on, it's just HDRs. I'm roughly focusing to this big tree here, which is roughly a third into the scene. Shooting at an ISO of f13, that's going to allow everything to be sharp. And that has given me half a second exposure, ISO of 100, so pretty menial basic shot really, but it's a nice area. I'm quite happy with the composition, so yeah, it should come out quite nicely. After this, what I'll probably be doing is going back into Austria. Actually on the camera, my arm's aching. Going back into Austria, probably up to some of the lakes, maybe Hallstatt for this afternoon, kind of making my way up through it towards Slovenia really. Yeah, been really cool in Dolomites, and a lot of hiking though, and it's kind of tired me out, so I'll be glad to get somewhere it's a bit less walking involved. After this I'm going to go and find somewhere to get some food, because I've not had a decent meal for the last few days. I've been kind of eating pasta out the van and stuff like that, so yeah, looking forward to that, and I'll catch up with you a bit later. Good evening. Sorry it's a bit dark. It's well past sunset. I've had another issue. Not really for me, but for you. I went down to the spot to do some photography. So I'm in Hallstatt now. It's a place I wanted to come to for a long time. Obviously when you saw me this morning, I was in Italy still. I wanted to try and stop off somewhere in Austria to get some pictures midday. Unfortunately, I kind of went up to a lake to try and get some reflection shots, but in the end I didn't really find any nice compositions up there. The cloud was covering a lot of the mountain peaks. I was hoping to get reflections of some pine trees with the mountains in the background, but because it was blocking out those mountains, it didn't really do anything for me, and none of the trees were in autumnal colours, so bit of a boring image. I took some on the phone anyway as I was there. I got one with a van in it with some reflections, which is okay I suppose for a phone shot, but it's nothing to write home about. I've kind of struggled with locations in Austria really. When I go away and see places, I always like to leave most of the stuff when I'm going to see that I don't know about. I like exploring and kind of working out stuff for myself when I'm there. But one thing I do always look into is photography viewpoints and compositions and stuff like that, and what you can get different areas shot wise, simply because when you're rushing to get somewhere before sunset or sunrise, you don't always have the time to do the homework when you're there. And I've really struggled with Austria finding places to go. So there's a lot of nice lakes like Plansee and stuff like that, which I missed because they're by the German border, and I didn't really do my research, and I went down to the Dolomites and kind of missed them out. And I didn't want to go back on myself, back up to Germany and then back again. It would have been like another 4 or 5 hour drive, and it's just something I wasn't willing to do. So I've skipped those out, and I've tried finding some in the middle, which like I said, didn't really work out. But I've always wanted to go to Hallstatt for at least a couple of years now, since I've seen the famous kind of reflection shots of the church down here. So I thought I'm not going to go wrong there. So I've come straight here. Now we had some really, really moody skies down there. It was a bit overcast. There's no magical light, but it did a nice thing because it diffused all the light coming over the sky. Even though the sun was well behind one of the mountain ranges, it still meant that we got kind of some nice kind of diffused light on the church and stuff. Now I was going to blog it down there, but it's right by about 3-4 houses on a really narrow street, the viewpoint, and there's a big sign saying silence. There's also about 20 other people down there, or 30 people when it was really busy, and I would have had to talk all over them and try and almost shout to get it to come out properly, and it just wouldn't have worked really. I would have ended up annoying the people that live there. I don't want to do that because they will get a lot of traffic past their door practically every night, I think, from people taking pictures. And also just vlogging with all a load of photographers around you is always a bit awkward anyway. So I've taken some footage down there. Now I was shooting mainly without without an ND filter, just because it's past sunset and it was quite dark anyway. I didn't really need it. I was shooting with a soft grad to bring down the skies. I've mainly been going for 20 to 30 second exposures to smooth out a bit of the water and get some reflections. The reflections are a bit broken, they're not perfect, they're a bit soft, but it's still come out quite nicely, I think. I was shooting about 1 to 2 stops under exposing the camera as well to try and get the scene really moody, and I think they've turned out really, really nicely. Even though I couldn't vlog down, I'm really happy with the images. And it really lends itself to shooting in the blue hour, that location. Normally a lot of places when you shoot in the blue hour, it puts a bit of a cast on them, a kind of blue cast, I suppose that's why it's called it. And sometimes it can ruin the balance of the image. Down there it actually improves it and makes them look really, really nice. So I'm glad how they came out. It's just a shame you couldn't really follow me down there and have a look at it while I was kind of taking the pictures. That's about all I can show you tonight. It's been a bit of a mixed day really. We had a lot of kind of clouds this morning, really trying to get that shot at Alpe Di Suisi, or however you pronounce it, and quite cloudy down here, but hopefully in the morning we'll get some nice shots. So hope you enjoyed today's vlog anyway. Sorry it's been a bit broken and not really much in between the locations. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get some more, so I'll be here in the morning. There's another lake, Goa Sea or something, I'll write it up, which I'm going to go and look at in the morning, which is quite close, and there's another church that I might go and look at as well. So I've got a few things planned tomorrow, so it should start working out a bit better. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and my gimbal is totally gone, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.